weren't from England. They were from Germany. So there was this thing that happened. You see, we had the Roman Empire. Do you guys remember any history about? All right. A long time ago, we had the Greeks. Right? Then the Romans came. The Romans took everything that was Greek and they made it theirs. So all of the Greek gods, all of the Greek beliefs, the Romans took them and gave them different names. All right? But also, the Romans took their alphabet. When we have A, B, C, it's from the Greek, alpha, beta, and then they didn't actually have the letter C. They had this, which is where we get our G. We have our alphabet today because the Romans were thieves. They took everything that they liked from the Greeks. But the Roman Empire was very big, and it was very strong until they started to get stupid, and their emperors started to kill each other. They got a little bit crazy in the head, and then everything fell apart. Okay? Around that time, we have somebody, his name is Attila. Maybe you've heard of him. They call him in English Attila the Hun. I don't know his Chinese name. He started to kill everybody. He took his people and went here, and then he went there, and everywhere he went, he was killing people. So people started to run away, right? So we have these people in Germany, in the north of Germany, and they go to England. So what language do they speak? Right? They speak German, or the German that we used 1,500 years ago, right? They used German. Now, because of him, also the Roman Empire fell. That's really important. Although not everybody thinks so. Right? The Roman Empire was a lot like the internet today. What would you do if your internet all disappeared? So, no internet on the computer, no cell phone communication, all of that just disappeared. What would you do? Maybe you would start talking to people again instead of, talking to people like this. But you would have to actually write a letter, and then somebody would have to carry it for you, right? No email, no World Wide Web, no information on the internet. What would happen to the world? These people, the Romans, they did the same thing. They had their internet. It was roads. Everywhere they went, they built roads. And because there were roads everywhere, they could share their ideas. If there was a scientist who learned something new, he could share his ideas to other cities, other countries, right? If they wanted to learn something, they could go to another place and ask, because they had roads. Now, when Rome fell, that connection died. So what happened after that, we call it the Dark Ages, because there was no light. In Europe, everything went black. There was no learning, no schools, no teaching. There was no science, no technology, no medicine, no real politics, no law. You had a little kingdom here, one city, one king. Another city, another king. Okay? So everything fell apart. But that's down in Europe. Up in England, we have our Germans who are setting up their new country, and then these people come along. Who are they? The Vikings, right? Have you ever met a Viking? They're fun. They like to party, they like to kill people, they like to steal stuff. They're lots of fun. They would leave their country, which was, over here. They would leave their country in ships, they would go to England, and they would kill people and steal stuff. All right? Like, why not? So, because of them, we have some words in English. Some of our words are from their language, right? But not a really big part of our language. What's more important is because of them, we have our first book in English. So, if you don't know this story, it's lots of fun. There's this prince, and he goes to another country to become famous. You all like princes, right? Princes, how shy, they're so awesome, so brave. So he goes to another country, and this king has a problem. There's a monster. The monster keeps killing his people. What am I going to do, right? So the prince says, I'll kill your monster, I'll save your people. And so all of the other soldiers can't kill this monster, but this prince, he can do it with his bare hands. Of course, he's a prince, right? So then, everybody's happy, we're all good, except then the monster's mother is pretty angry with the prince. So then the prince is happy, right? He has lots of money now, he's famous, he's great and popular, and then the monster's mother kills him. The end. It's a great story, right? The thing is, the English people wrote it about their enemies. It's a really wicked idea if you think about it, right? You have your country, and there's these bad people attacking you. So you write a story about their heroes. You say, oh, he's so great, he's so powerful. And he does these great things, but in the end, he dies. The end, right? It's a great story. If you don't know this at all, if you're interested, you should look it up. But we have these people attacking, and then a couple hundred years later, we have the French. So, English is German. We have some of these Vikings attack us, but then we have French. Because actually the English were fighting those Vikings, their last king died. The English king, he died, but all of the kings in Europe were kind of related. They were all brothers and cousins, and they were all a big family. So then the French king says, oh look, there's a nice big country. Well, small country. There's a nice country, and there's no king. I'm going to go be the king. But because I'm French, your country is now French. That's what he did. He brought his language, and so for 300 years, England was French. What would happen in Taiwan if something like that happened? Let's pretend that, North Korea takes over the world. So for the next 300 years, everybody in Taiwan speaks Korean. What would happen to your language? Right? The king uses French, so his court, his leaders use French. So the law is in French. The laws are in French, so all of the village leaders, all of the people in charge, they all have to use French. The laws are in French, so taxes are in French. Everything you buy and sell is going to be French, right? So the French comes into English and it takes over everything at the top. The people at the bottom, the German people down at the bottom, doesn't matter to them. They keep using their language because they're not important. But anybody above them has to use French for 300 years, and then finally, an English king is strong enough to say, no more French. This is England. Okay? 你们都了解吗? 我讲太快了。All right, good. Then we have these people. So who are they? You guys remember their names? We have Michelangelo, right? Leonardo. Leonardo what? Ta xing什么? Leonardo da Vinci. We have Raphael, we have Donatello. These are all famous painters, right? They're painters from where? 他们是英国来的吗? Michelangelo, not an English name. Michelangelo 是哪里来的? Da Vinci 是哪里来的? This is something everybody should know. 他们是意大利人. They're all from Italy. So what happened in Italy? We had the Roman Empire. We have it really strong. And then people get stupid and the empire falls apart. And then we have the Dark Ages. For a long time in Italy, there's no learning, no science.